On the outskirts of Sangli, where the roads narrow and the noise fades, there's a sanctuary quietly rewriting the stories of India's most exploited animals. This is Animal Rahat, and it's where we're headed. We barely reached the gate before we were surrounded and welcomed by our four-legged furry friends and wagging tails. These dogs were once props in circuses, forced to perform degrading tricks, live in distress, and fear the hands that fed them. But today, they run free, and strangely, they chose to run straight towards me, showing the unconditional love they're capable of, with puppy eyes that have seen both cruelty and kindness. That's Jackie, one of 7 Pomeranians rescued from a circus in Karnataka. He and his best friend Kalu now live here safe and dignified. They share a quiet bond and a life that doesn't demand anything else in return. These cats came from the breeding industry and were rescued from the Udupi raid, raised for how much profit their pedigree brings. Some still flinch at a raised hand or a sudden step. It takes more than a shelter to undo the safety that human greed can take away. These majestic horses were once forced to haul tourists through the busy streets of Mumbai, pulling heavy Victoria carriages on scorching tar roads. The ponies too were victims, raised illegally on the outskirts of the city for human entertainment, pushed far beyond their limits. Both were trapped in lives of exhaustion and cruelty, abused with spike pits and merciless whips. But now, for the first time, they finally get to be unburdened, free from pain, free to just be. Here, they brush gently and cool with mist showers, which they absolutely seem to love. The young bull calves here were abandoned by the dairy industry simply because they couldn't produce milk. The bullocks were rescued from sugar factories where they were forced to haul overloaded carts of sugarcane from the fields to the factory grounds. Day after day, they toiled under the weight until their bodies gave in.
This is Parvati, and she was rescued from Mumbai, and she was being sold in a dairy market where they want to pretend that her udder is very big size. So what they do, they seal the udder with some sticks or something, and so that the milk is not let down. And in that condition, they will be having a lot of pain, and she will be evincing a lot of pain. And in that status, she was rescued from there, and she was brought to this sanctuary.
Many left lame, their necks still wounded with painful yoke abscesses. For years, they were seen as mere tools of labor, not living beings capable of feeling pain and love. Used for rides, fairs, and festival performances, these camels were paraded as exotic attractions. Some were rescued from circuses, and one was saved from Bhimtal, where he was forced to give rides at a local fair. They were made to walk for hours under the sun, controlled by yanking the rope attached to a nose peg, muzzled, poked, decorated. When they could no longer keep up the labor, they were cast aside. But here, their only job is to rest, recover, and eat jaggery.
She is Tracy, and she was being used in one of the circuses, and she was used for parading there, exhibiting over in the circus. And when we rescued her, she was in just skin and bone condition. Now you can see she's having good body condition. The hump has come up, and if human being comes near to her or touch the face, she was nowhere allowing anyone. But now you can see now, Shreya is touching her, I am touching her, and she is comfortable you can see her. So from that stage to this stage she has come. So now she believes on human being.
The donkeys came from the brick industry where they carried back-breaking loads every single day in the illegal river bed sand mining. When they fell, they were beaten till they couldn't carry on, and when they couldn't, they were replaced. Never helped. Most came here injured, terrified, and exhausted. Here, they get to rest and simply exist, heal, and recover. Then came the most painful sight, baby chicks dyed pink and blue. Most are male chicks, the ones the egg industry has no use for. They're dipped in toxic colors to be sold at fairs so children can convince their parents to buy them, or are left to die on the roadside because they're not profitable.
Someone like threw the box of the old chicks. Sometimes they even mash them out or they put them in the water alive. So if you see the poultry industry, if you see, they will just bury them, like they will put them in the water and they will die of suffocation.
80 tiny chicks were rescued by the PETA India Rapid Response Team and Animal Rahat staff from the roadside in Meerut, Uttar Pradesh, after 2 cardboard boxes carrying them were thrown off a truck. These rabbits were used in testing labs or bred for it. Imagine spending your whole life in a cage, not seen as living sentient beings, but only as test subjects used for beauty trials and toxicity checks. The eyes still tell that horrific story. So these rabbits were also rescued by the PETA India team and brought here to the Animal Rahat Sanctuary. They were rescued from the breeding industry. A lot of people use them for lab testing, cosmetic testing, and honestly, this abuse needs to stop. Just look at them. And we also did an AI podcast where we had a rabbit on the show as the guest, where the rabbit has also pled humans to stop testing on them. Different species, same stories, but the same fate. Used, abused, and then abandoned. And still somehow they haven't given up on us. But none of the animals here will ever be used again. They no longer have to endure abuse for tourism, acting, or entertainment. Thanks to Animal Rahat, these stories won't end in pain. Next, we went into what was probably the most horrifying room in the sanctuary, where all the tools kept to torture these poor animals are kept as a solemn reminder of the cruelty we impart on a daily basis.
These are the torture devices, and these has been, if you just see, look at them. These are the nail-studded spikes, yoke spikes. So how they use it, I'll just show you. When the bullock is being used for taking the sugarcane on the top of the cart, what they do on the side of the neck, it is being kept like this. There is a like this, and when the bullock moves outside, you'll get hurt here. And sometimes you will see the blood coming out of the neck. This kind of, and the separate type. This is also on the side. You can just see this. If it just touches your hand, it will be so painful. So this is the shearing tool. What they do for selling out the bulls, they want to show them the less age. So what they will do, they will shear the horns. They will try to take the upper layer from that. Shearing of horns. They do it this kind of thing. And sometimes it bleeds also. And then what they do, they will apply the paints also. The oil paint which we put on the board, on the wall, on the windows, they will put on their horn.
Yeah,
and horns have the mechanism of what you say it as a thermoregulation mechanism. It has to be actually, they had the small holes, pores inside it from where the heat dissipates. But if you just paint it over that, then that will be like closed compartment. And then more dangerous weapon, I'll just show you this one. So you have seen the horses in the wedding, they are made to dance.
Yeah.
So it will be put like this. I'll give a cutting here on the sides. These are the spiked bits, sharp bits we say it as. Can you just imagine if it is put in your mouth, how much painful it will be? And this is the intensity of the pain, and the people are getting pleasure out of it. They will be saying that they are dancing because the horse is dancing, but the horse is dancing on this. And this is one of the cruelty thing, Drought and Pack Animal Rule, Section 8. It is said that if such bits are there, you can complain to the police and they have to like confiscate them. And these are the whips. I used to say, you are hitting a live bull with a dead bull skin. This is the leather. So like human beings have gone to that level. So this is what is the reality of this industry. Physical part heals after some time. You will not see those injuries, those wounds. But the mental part, it takes sometime year also. So we are trying to make a point to the human beings that they are also the sentient beings and they have equal place as of you. That's what we are trying to tell to the people out in the world. And you should respect all the sentient beings in this world.
None of this healing would be possible without the team at Animal Rahat. Their work is quiet, constant, and life-changing. They don't just rescue, they rehabilitate with trust, time, and tenderness. Every animal here is treated as an individual and has a name, a story, a second chance. Support them, speak up, start somewhere, because every decision we make holds power. Every product we don't buy, every meal we choose, it's for them. The ones the world may have used and forgotten, but we won't. Show your support and donate now.